an asshole, man. That dude's an asshole and he knows it.
From the mean streets of Brooklyn to the rough neighborhoods in Boise, Idaho, we now present the Goonberg Report. Hey folks, how you doing? It's the Goonberg Report, and I'm your host, Mayor Goonberg. And today we're going to talk about a controversial topic. We're going to talk about the EBT situation with the government shutdown. Now, billions with a B, in food stamp payments are coming early. Now, there's a loophole that the Department of Agriculture has where it can give February payments early in January. And this is due because of the partial government shutdown. Now, it's probably becoming the longest in U.S. history. Now, this is unprecedented. This is just never happened. Precedent. You know, to pay out of billions of dollars. And now they're going to have, grocery stores are going to scramble around how they're going to deal with this, because either you're going to spend it all or you're going to tighten it up to see how it goes. But the food stamp program could run out of funding for February. You know, it could. Trump announced that he had to come up with a way to bankroll more than $4.8 billion in benefits next month. But there's one catch. The benefits for the nearly 39, basically 40 million people enrolled in the program must be paid out by January 20th, which is it's weeks earlier. But the thing is, it created what it did is it created a logistical and a communication problem and widespread confusion about how the food stamp programs will be distributed in the next coming month. Now, if the impasse continues with the lockdown and all that, the government has, it's been issued food stamps on a short notice before. Like if during the 70s when mills were shutting down, people got food stamps, stuff like that. Like disasters, it happened before. I've seen them happen before. But it wasn't because we were lazy. Like I said, when mills were shut down, people just lost jobs like that. So that was part of the benefit package. But this is something new. This is like shutdown, like a partial government shutdown. And now, since this has never happened, you got retailers that sell groceries like across the country. They were getting ready to prepare. Well, first of all, you know how people are when they get food stamps. They want to buy all the lobsters, the steaks, the good stuff, and leave me with the raw hamburger. No, just kidding. But grocery retailers across the country are getting ready for everybody coming in. Now, me personally, this is going to happen. You figure if it's going to be the 20th, them food stamps are going to get here by, I want to say the 19th, because, the 20th is Martin Luther King Day. Ain't that a coincidence? But the 20th, if it comes to 20th, cool. But they might issue some the 19th, like that Friday. It depends. Don't take me, for certain on this. The people who got a letter, when you're getting your stamps. But the problem is the retailers are trying to get out to the best way to explain stuff to the people who get food stamps. Now, a lot of people are going to be confused if you don't pay attention to current events, or say you're one of the people that really deserve it, and you're working out there to pay for. Maybe you got disabled kids. Maybe you're paying for your mother. Maybe you're paying for whatever. Something. Maybe you got a legit reason. I'm not talking about the people, and this video isn't for the people who've been coasted on the system for generations. This is for the people who have a legit reason to use it. But a lot of people don't have time to watch the news every day because they got to take care of the business. They got to maybe their son or daughter has special needs. They got to run around, do this and that. But they're going to be confused. Well, a lot of them are going to call because they're going to say, well, hold up, man, you gave me this extra. Why am I getting extra? And so there's going to be a lot of nightmare over that. Now, the food stamps, or SNAP program as it's called formally, it's overseen, like I said, by the Agriculture Department. But it's administered on a state level. States usually typically put the stuff on your EBT cards. Just because it's makes it easy on grocery stores. But they stagger it. Some people get it certain days. You know how it is. But some of the state agencies or probably going to issue the benefits starting the 20th. But more than likely, I'm going to say it's going to be starting on the 18th because the 20th is a holiday. And they're already closed right now, so there'll be less people working on the 20th. So I say the 18th. The 18th, you're going to start getting some stuff earlier. And it might be happening sooner than later just so the government kicks it out, as far as the food stamp program. Now, the average benefit per household, and you can look all these numbers up. These aren't hard numbers to look at, is $229 a month. The majority, like I said, the recipients are children, the elderly, or people who have a disability. Now, the elderly and disability people, I can understand. The children, I can understand. To a point. Because, like I said, my parents have 4 kids. Like I said, when my old man got laid off from his work, the whole plant, it was part of, my old man didn't go out looking for stamps. It was part of the package that they got. Because this is back when unions were strong as hell, and this is like going through like I said. I'll tell you people, I was born in Brooklyn, Crown Heights, Bed-Stuy. What's going on? And I was we moved to Pittsburgh. Well, back to Pittsburgh. My family's originally from there. Well, I have a bunch of relatives in New York. That's why we moved there. But I was born in Brooklyn, the old Jewish hospital, now condos. But go figure. But back in that area, it was full of mills, steel mills, glass mills, metals, you name it. So back in Ford Carter days in Reagan, there was, people know, Pittsburgh lost the whole Rust. It's part of the Rust Belt. From Chicago, I won't say from probably Milwaukee, all the way up to Boston, and all the way down south as far as I'd say Baltimore, even D.C. It's the Rust Belt. It's like we lost a lot of manufacturing jobs, a lot of family. Look, here's how bad it was. We had a Volkswagen plant, and I know there were more stories like this, but these are the ones that I know publicly. There's a Volkswagen plant, and people don't know which one I'm talking about. It's right near the turnpike. We had friends of ours whose parents committed suicide when they lost their job. It was rough in the Rust Belt. And people who live in it, you know what I'm talking about. It's rough. But back to the SNAP. Now, the problem is the United States Department of Agriculture is not getting any funding. You figure the government shut down, but they're like, it's one of the 9 agencies that are affected by this partial shutdown. So individuals can, like, you can still, people that want to apply, you can still apply for SNAP benefits. It's just that you got to understand the situation. Now, the funding lapse is, now it's going to be raising up concerns about there's a federal nutritional programs like SNAP, school meals during the summer. How can you operate all that stuff, like weekends with the school stuff? How can you operate that without a spending fix from Congress? Now, we got to ask Congress, what are you going to do to fix this? Like funding for like the supplemental nutrition program for women, like WIC. It provides basic stuff for people who really need that. Like I said, like I told you before, school nutrition incentives. But it's but the thing with SNAP is kind of unique is it's a mandatory entitlement. Like, it means as long as you meet that income and all the eligibility requirements, you're entitled to the benefits. But the only problem is it doesn't have automatic funding, and it must, like, Congress has to give appropriations to fund SNAP. There's no automatic, like, X amount of dollars, like, say, Social Security. But now, usually Congress waves, like, through the funding to keep SNAP going. Usually it's not a big deal. But now it's a big deal because of the size and scope of what's going on right now. Now, the benefits were good, cool. It was normal for January because, like I said, we never shut down. But the early issuance coming now was a method by the administration to keep SNAP running without dipping into reserves. Like, we have reserves. There's a reserve fund in SNAP. It's about a couple billion. I think it's no more than 4 or 5. I want to say 3. And now the United States Department of Agriculture can make the payments for February based. There's like a odd provision or odd rule, like for in the short term confusion. There's like that kept several like federal funded agencies funded through this. Like it keeps the funded agencies till December 21st. God, excuse me, I just got off work and it's 2 in the morning, so I got to do this video real quick because I want to help people out. Like to change up in the timing, like for the benefits. Like I said, it's a major test. It's basically it's going to be like I told you earlier. It's like a logistical and communicational nightmare. Because now you got to get with the states and you got to hash out the logics. And states got to do it quickly. So we're going to see, like it's called different names in different states. But basically, if you say food stamps or Freddy's, we know what you're talking about. State cities, like there's a lot of state agencies. My fault. They're trying to send out letters like right now. Like I don't think people really understand. It's like a big demand. But across the board, states are going to rely like on grocery retailers to help out. They're going to probably rely on food banks, which donate to food banks if you can. Like I said, there's people who are on food stamps who really need the food stamps. I do admit that. But there's a lot more people who don't need them. But that's not this video's about. But now, as far as the Trump administration, they haven't talked about or even discussed about how to deal with the benefits if the shutdown continues and Congress can't provide the money needed for the welfare benefits in March. March is kind of up in the air right now. So if I were you with them stamps, I wouldn't go high on the hog with it right now. The USDA officials that have said they have said before, like if the shutdown continues, they have to look for other ways to keep funding going. We have access to food, and they're going to try to use all the legal things that like the legal channels, the Congress channels they can use. But another situation is, this goes to show you, people need to quit relying on governmental assistance, rely on yourself. I understand their situations, but you got to rely on yourself sometimes. Like, look at the government right now. There's government shutdown. There's a loophole. The only reason you're getting your food stamps because there was a loophole. If it wasn't for that loophole, what would you do? That's the question you should be asking yourself right now. It's not that like you were lucky to get your food stamps. It's like, what would you do if you didn't get your food stamps? And then you should take action so when you won't be put in this situation again. Because I'm not trying to bash nobody. This video isn't to say, hey, you're a bad person if you get them. This video is to make you think, wait a minute. Nothing's set in stone. This ain't guaranteed. Oh, yes, it's a requirement. Yeah, it's required. But the funding isn't. It's not guaranteed funding. How do we know that it can go from $3 billion to maybe they could go to like 10 million? Then divide what you're getting by divide the 10 billion into what? How long do you want to divide 10 into 3, or the 3 into 10, and come out with a percentage? Then do your percent of that, whatever. How you ever want to do it. But you got to think for yourself. This is. I think personally, this is the test. This is the test of either seeing how logistical and how they can communicate, how good they are, and or this is going to be further testing for when they start really cutting you guys out. Because I hate to say, they do have a mandate to cut you guys. This is one of the wall is like everybody talks about the wall and this and that. But trust me, social services are one of the main things that they think that people are coasting on the hog because we have a lot of degenerates out there that do that. And like I said, I understand that people get stamps because maybe you got your kids, the elderly, infirm. I understand that. I have no problem with that. But you got to understand the typical stereotype is more often than not because you're working. You can drive around and see people being lazy and know they get food stamps. So you should, as far as the shutdown, you should be asking yourself, you should be preparing. Let me put it this way. If there's a shutdown in March, what are you going to do? Ask yourself that. All right. This is Mayor Goonberg for the Goonberg Report. Thank you for listening. Peace.